Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are back with the Trackmaster Sim Series at the South Boston Speedway, ready for race 3 of the 6-race season. Last week we had the Twin 50s, in which we saw Brandon Atkinson pick up a victory, as well as Brandon Elvis. It was the Brandon and Brandon show. We'll see what they've got this week. We'll get the times up on the left side of our screen. It's qualifying time. As Brandon Elvis on lap number 1, he'll get the tires warm on that one. We'll see what he's got on the money lap. Lap number 2, he'll see the checkered flag this time. Second lap there, a 14.78. He'll go second quick. Christian Peterson goes to the top of the board on his first lap. As he comes through turns 3 and 4, John Lyday to the top spot. Adam Fulford in the 71 machine, making his second lap. The 171 rather. We're going to try to update Trading Paints. For some reason, it was not showing Adam Fulford's paint there. We'll try and make sure everybody's car is up on screen. Jake Griffin in the 3 goes to the third spot, 14.76. We got some more drivers still yet to qualify. One of them is our points leader in the Trackmaster Sim Series. Coming into tonight's race, Atkinson leads by just 7 points over Kyle Adams. He'll go to the fourth spot in qualifying. 18 cars have taken time so far. Dylan Hartman on lap number 2 put him into the top 5, 5th quick for the 75 machine. Now the 1 of Dustin Turnage. We'll see what he can do on lap number 2, currently 19th quick. Comes back around. He'll jump up to 15th quick with a 14.87. And that is going to wrap it up here in qualifying. 20 cars have taken time. And it is time for our heat races here tonight. We'll have 10 laps to decide our heat races. We'll see the start of heat race number 1. Your starting lineup is going to be John Lyday on the pole in the number 22 machine, your fast qualifier here tonight. Jake Bubby Griffin, I should say, in the number 3, going to start in the second spot. Dylan Hartman going to roll off third in the 75. Outside of row number 2 is the 026 of Landon Farmer. Zach Murphy and Hudson Geiger going to make up row 3. Tanner Thomas making his first start of the season in the 01, going to roll off from the 7th spot next to the 1 machine of Dustin Turnage. Dominic Frappier in the 05, going to start from the 9th spot next to Brandon Kelly in the 9 machine, who will roll off 10th. So 10 cars going to bring us to the green in heat race number 1. The first 2 races of the season were very exciting. Last week we had Twin 50s, of course. So technically first 3 races of the season, but with the way that they did the points, we're going to count it as 1 race. As the drivers make their way to the starting grid, waiting on the 3 of Jake Griffin to join us on the grid. We've got 10 cars ready to go, 10 laps. And this will set the lineup for our features later on tonight. And as they roll off, it is time to get the action started here tonight. 2 10-lap heat races and then a 120-lap feature later on. Only one set of tires in the pits for these guys. And that's the one that they will start the feature on. So once they're out there, that's the tires they're going to finish the race on. It's going to be exciting to see who can save their tires the longest. It's definitely going to come down to tire saving. So we're going to talk about that all night long as they get the white flag, the 1 to go signal, and we're ready to kick things off here in week 3 of the Trackmaster Sim Series. Down into turns 3 and 4 they go. Pace car makes the hard left turn, and through the restart zone they go. The green flag is up, and we are underway in heat race number 1. Down into turns 1 and 2, John Lyday, Bubby Griffin side by side down the back straightaway. Griffin going to peek out in front on the outside lane early on. They single file out behind them. Leader of lap number 1, give it to Bubby Griffin on the outside in the number 3 machine. Down the back stretch for the second time. Ooh, there's contact out back. Brandon Kelly and Dustin Turnage. A little bit of door banging, but they keep it straight. Leader of lap 2 is going to be John Lyday on the bottom. So no clear advantage so far, but it looks like the 3 machine up into the outside wall a little bit. Going to let John Lyday peek out in front and maybe clear down into turns 1 and 2. 7 laps to go here in heat race number 1. Griffin going to get down in line into the second spot. Dylan Hartman challenges there in third. Right now, everybody single file throughout your field. Halfway in, halfway home this time. Here comes Hartman to the inside in the 75. Got a little bit sideways, though. Not able to make the run down to the bottom side. As you can see, everybody very close. And ooh, a bumper there to the back bumper of the 3 machine. Tanner Thomas to the inside of Landon Farmer. That is for the 4th spot back behind. Looks like he will take that spot. Ooh, a little bit of contact there coming back to 3 laps to go. They keep it pointed in the right direction, but Farmer trying to keep that machine wound up on the top side. Thomas trying to go back around. 2 laps to go for John Lyday, and around goes Landon Farmer. Caution flag flies. We're going to go into overtime here in heat race number 1. We saw things getting intense there with that group of 3 cars. But what happened to the 26? Well, look. See the 29 of Murphy maybe just came up the slightest little bit. We'll watch that one more time. Try and go from the drone. Yeah, just up the track a little bit. Tags the 26 and around goes Landon Farmer. That puts us under yellow for the first time this evening. It'll be a green-white checkered finish in heat race number 1. John Lyday has led almost every lap. Jake Griffin was able to lead that first lap on the outside lane, but Lyday got it figured out on the bottom. So we come back around. They'll get the 2 to go signal that time. Race control making sure the lineup is good before we bring them back around. But it'll be 2 laps to go. Does anybody have anything for Bubby Griffin? Dylan Hartman looked pretty racy there. But is there enough time? Passing is going to be very tough here all evening especially passing quickly. So we'll see what they've got here. Coming back to a green-white checkered to wrap up heat race number 1. John Lyday on the bottom. Jake Griffin in the 3 machine up top. Dylan Hartman in 3rd. Tanner Thomas in the 4th spot. That's your top 4. Bringing them back to the end of heat race number 1. Pace car is off, and we're back rolling. Through the restart zone they go. A good start there for Lyday. He'll be clear down into turns 1 and 2. Jake Griffin trying to roll that outside lane. He'll have a nose to the outside down into turns 3 and 4. But out of the corner, white flag is out. Final time around. John Lyday going to be clear for the top spot. The battle is for the 3rd position. One more time down the back straightaway. John Lyday going to be clear into turns 3 and 4. Winner of heat race number 1. Give it to John Lyday in the number 22 machine. It's going to be John Lyday, Bubby Griffin, Tanner Thomas, Dylan Hartman, and Hudson Geiger, your top 5 in heat number 1. Now time for heat race number 2 as we head down to the starting grid. Look at the lineup for heat 2. We'll try and get the starting grid up for heat 2. There we go. On the pole, going to be the 71 machine of Christian Peterson. He'll roll off next to his Skyline teammate and points leader coming into tonight, Brandon Atkinson. Then the other winner from last week, Brandon Elvis, Brandon and Brandon show, going to be rolling off 2nd and 3rd here in heat race number 2. Richard Park's going to start from the 4th spot. Row number 3, Adam Fulford on the inside in the 171. Then it's Kyle Adams in the 24 to his outside. Justin Coleman in the 14, going to roll off from the 7th spot next to Caleb Thompson in the 04. And then rounding out our field in heat number 2, Jared Schell and Sean McNeil in the 97. So 10 cars, 10 laps, same deal in heat 2. To set the lineup for our feature later tonight. Let's see who's faster this week out of the 2 Skyline cars. In this heat race, John Lyday picked up the win in heat race number 1. We'll see what they've got down into the restart zone. Green flag is out, and heat race number 2 is underway. Through the first set of corners, everybody clean and green down the back straightaway. Christian Peterson going to peek ahead through turns 1 and 2, and he will lead lap number 1. Brandon Atkinson on the outside lane, trying to hang on to the 2nd spot. Him and Brandon Elvis battle. As Peterson leads, Elvis going to pull into the 2nd spot across the line that time. 2 by 2 as Adam Fulford now puts a nose in there for the 2nd spot, or sorry, 3rd spot. Here comes Brandon Elvis for the race lead. Elvis on the bottom side, Peterson up top. 2 by 2 for the top spot here. It looks like Elvis will pull ahead through turns 1 and 2. Give the top spot to the 54 machine as we come back to 5 laps to go. Halfway in, halfway home in heat race number 2. Four laps to go for Brandon Elvis. Trying to hold off Christian Peterson, who's all over the back bumper. Brandon Atkinson going to get back down into 3rd. This time by, it'll be 2 laps to go. 2 to go for Brandon Elvis in heat race number 2. He got the lead from Christian Peterson, started in the 3rd spot in this one. He will take the white flag. Final time around for Brandon Elvis. And down into turns 3 and 4. 54 machine of Brandon Elvis picks up heat race number 2. As the field completes it. There, heat race 2. Brandon Elvis, your winner. Christian Peterson, 2nd. Brandon Atkinson, 3rd. Adam Fulford, 4th. And Justin Coleman wraps up your top 5. These guys will have a 3-minute warm-up to get everything settled in for the feature event. 120 laps here tonight. No tires in the pits. We look at the weather on the right side of the screen. The track temp, not too hot, only at 91 degrees on the track here this evening. Sometimes we're used to seeing track temperatures in the 120s, 130s. A little bit cooler here tonight at South Boston. Looking through the point standings, only 2 races in. It's pretty tight through your top 5. Zach Murphy in the 4th spot. Just 23 points back, 26 points back is Brandon Elvis. So a lot of cars close to one another in the point standings, and only a 6-race season. You're going to have to be very consistent in order to pick up the championship. Brandon Atkinson leads by 7 over Kyle Adams and John Lyday. They're tied for 3rd or 2nd. As these drivers are getting those final preparations made for the race. A little bit different than what we had last week. We had 2 50-lap features. Tonight we've got 1 feature with a distance of 120 laps. So how you drive the car is going to be way different than what we saw a couple weeks or last week. Justin Coleman in the 14. Took an extended break from iRacing. He's back in full swing. He raced last week with the Trackmaster Sim Series. Ended up 5th after both features. So a good run for the 14 last week. We'll see what he can do here tonight as we get the checkered flag on our warm-up session. It's time for tonight's feature event. 120 laps of the distance. No tires in the pits. That's the big story. What can these guys do to make their cars last? Who can be there at the end? It's going to be exciting in the beginning because everybody's going to try to be at the front, but you got to be there at the end when it matters. So it's going to be good to watch throughout the race. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of different people at the front. We head trackside here to our starting grid. We'll look at tonight's starting lineup. our scheduled starting lineup. We'll see what the invert is. Oh, the invert was a 2. So it's going to be pretty easy here to look at our starting lineup. On the pole, going to be the number 54 of Brandon Elvis. He'll have lane choice on the front row. He'll roll off next to John Lyday in the number 22 machine, your fast qualifier here tonight. And then the rest of the rows are as they go. Jake Bubby Griffin in the 3rd spot in the number 3 machine. Christian Peterson in the 71, going to roll off 4th. Tanner Thomas in the 01, going to start from the 5th spot next to Brandon Atkinson in the 15, who will roll off 6th. Dylan Hartman in the 75, going to start from the 7th spot next to the 171 of Adam Fulford. Hudson Geiger in the 36 will roll off from the 9th spot next to Justin Coleman in the 14 machine, starting 10th. Back behind them in row number 6, it's going to be Dominic Frappier in the 05, next to Richard Parks in the 113. Brandon Kelly in the 21 machine, going to roll off from the 13th spot, next to the 24 of Kyle Adams. Zach Murphy in the 15th spot in the 29 machine, going to roll off next to his buddy Caleb in the 04. Landon Farmer in the 026 machine, going to roll off 17th here tonight, next to Jared Schell in the 34. And then out back, shotgun on the field, row number 10, Dustin Turnage in the number 1 machine, next to the 97 of Sean McNeil. So that is your starting lineup here tonight. 20 cars, 120 laps. It's going to be a fun one to see who can master this field. It's a tough field up at the front. A lot of these guys are right on top of each other's lap times, so they're going to keep each other tight. We'll see who comes out on top as John Lyday makes his way to the starting grid, just waiting on Dylan Hartman, scheduled to start 7th here. As they roll off, Brandon Elvis going to choose the bottom lane. That means we are ready to roll 420 laps here at the South Boston Speedway. Folks, if you're watching a driver here in the field, let me know in the chat below who you are cheering for as we prepare for the 3rd race of the season with the Trackmaster Sim Series. White flag this time around. They will get the 1 to go signal, and we are going to go green next time by. Brandon Elvis going to roll off from the pole. Hasn't picked up a feature win in 1 week here in the Trackmaster Sim Series. He won a lot of league races last week. It's been a while before that, but Elvis was on a hot streak in that 54 machine. We'll see if he can continue it here tonight. But we're going to go green next time by. Let's see what they can do. Elvis on the bottom, Lyday up top. Through the restart zone they go. The green flag is up. And we're underway down into turns 1 and 2. Good jump there by the 54 of Elvis. He will take the lead down into turns 3 and 4. And he will lead lap number 1. As your field begins to get single filed out, everybody through the beginning part of the pack, as we've got a caution through the back part of the field. Tanner Thomas, Christian Peterson, Brandon Atkinson, your points leader, spun out early on here. Lap number 2 Calamity strikes. And let's see what happened. I think Tanner Thomas was the car that initially got tagged. Let's go back here to that second lap. You can see the one machine. Yeah, there was contact with the 71 of Peterson, and Peterson got on the binders. There was nowhere for Atkinson to go. Look at that one more time. Try and go on board with Brandon Atkinson, your points leader. See what he saw. This was down into the corner, and yeah, nothing he could have done. Peterson slammed on the brakes there, and they tried to get on it. But unfortunately, not much you can do, especially when you're all so tight like that in the beginning of the race. But that will put us under caution for the first time here tonight. Just 2 laps in. Caution laps do count here tonight. So as they work lap number 5, we'll come back and I think we'll double up here and try it again. And we'll send them back with 114 laps to go. A big moment there, especially for the points battle. Your points leader having trouble there at the beginning. We'll see how he can recover. Currently scored in the 17th spot, so let's see what happens as the pace car makes that hard left turn back down to pit road. And we'll send him back racing here on lap number 7. Green flag is back out. Elvis gets away nicely there in the 54 machine. John Lyday running second. Adam Fulford in the 171 trying to take over the 3rd spot on that outside lane. He will do so down into turns 1 and 2. Jake Griffin going to give that spot up. .47. That is Dominic Frappier in that machine. Caleb Thompson on the inside lane. There's a little bit of contact there. Kind of leaning on each other. Only on lap number 10, Thompson going to take that spot. As Landon Farmer gets around Zach Murphy, that's for the 7th spot. Things have settled down here up front. We are single file, your front 4 cars. Brandon Elvis continues to show the way. Trying to win in back-to-back weeks in the Trackmaster Sim Series. Still a long ways to go. But I feel like once we hit that lap 20 mark, it might start to be hammered down. Especially with how many cars are in this field, it's going to be hard to charge your way up if you're not one of these guys here in the top 3 or 4. We've got a 4-car breakaway right at the front of the field. Brandon Elvis leads. He's got John Lyday behind him. Look a little bit further back, Richard Parks got around Dominic Frappier up into the top 10. Caleb Thompson started this race in the 16th spot, up to 9th right now. As you see Hudson Geiger put the move on Bubby Griffin in the 3. That's for the 5th spot. Down into turns 3 and 4 they go. Geiger going to try to track down your front 4 who have really broken away. The gap about 1.5 seconds to the back bumper of Justin Coleman. race leader right now. Brandon Elvis has got a mirror full of John Lyday. You can see him really starting to put the pressure on. Only about a car length separating the two. You just got to keep pressure on that leader throughout the event. Maybe at some point he makes a mistake and you got to be right there to pounce. Sean McNeil to the inside of Dominic Frappier in the 47. He's going to bring a couple cars with him, including Kyle Adams and Brandon Kelly in the 21. Right now, this is where the strategy begins, is this run right here, because a lot of different guys are doing different things with their race cars. Some guys are trying to push through the field, and some guys are just taking it easy right now, knowing that they have a long way to go. But a couple of the cars that really can't afford to wait too long is your points leader, Brandon Atkinson, as well as Christian Peterson, two of the guys involved in that lap 2 incident. But there could be some damage on those race cars. You can see the right front of Peterson's car, obviously pretty torn up. You know, we've got trouble. Caleb Thompson and Landon Farmer were slow on the exit of turns 1 and 2. I'm not sure what happened there. We cut back as they were all checking up. I think everybody's able to continue on. But Kyle Adams going to take over the 9th spot. Here comes Richard Parks as well. Only 27 laps in. You already see a couple guys starting to get squirrely, and you can't overheat those tires. It's going to be a nightmare at the end of the race if you start to get that car loose now. You obviously want to move forward and fight for position, but more importantly, you don't want to keep the tires on it for all 120 laps. As you see Landon Farmer fall back to the 13th spot. They'll go back to 14th as Brandon Kelly goes by. He'll get back down into line. "30 laps in at the line right here. 90 laps to go for Brandon Elvis. He's led from the drop of the green. We had that early caution flag, but from there, we have been green. Elvis has got about a car length advantage over John Lyday right now. Your top 4 have broken away. Hudson Geiger starting to close that gap a little bit. He's pulled away from Bubby Griffin in the 3rd spot right now, or 6th spot, number 3 car. As we work lap number 34, battle for the 2nd spot. Justin Coleman to the inside of John Lyday. He'll take over the 2nd position. He's going to try to bring Adam Fulford with him. And Coleman has come to life here on lap 35. He'll move up to 2nd. Lyday going to get back down for 3rd. But Coleman started this race in the 10th spot, already up into the 2nd position. Granted, we had that lap 2 chaos in turns 1 and 2. But still a lot of speed out of this 14 machine early on. Adam Fulford behind the 22 of John Lyday. Biding his time right now, knows that he doesn't necessarily have to get around him at this moment. He's just got to stay close. So we come around here. It'll be lap number 40 up on the board. 40 laps in for Brandon Elvis. It'll be 80 laps to go when they get back across right here. And Justin Coleman really starting to put the pressure on that 54 machine. John Lyday right there for second. All four of those cars nose to tail. It's going to keep them all tight. If we get a caution, some of these cars back behind them that maybe aren't pushing as hard are going to have a chance to come up and strike. Sean McNeil going to get around Jared Schell there for the 11th spot. Brandon Kelly going to try to follow suit as well. And oh, there's contact. Sideways was the 34. He'll save it. We will stay green, but there was contact there for the 12th spot. As we look back up front, Adam Fulford to the inside of John Lyday. That's for third. Your front two start to break away a little bit, but it looks like Fulford's going to pull ahead. And he will take that spot coming out of turns 3 and 4. So give the third spot to Adam Fulford there. About 15 laps shy of halfway. Still quite a ways to go here in this one at South Boston. Brandon Elvis continues to show the way. We'll look at the top 20. Everybody up on the left side of our screen. The times the last time around, looks like the fastest car on the racetrack was Adam Fulford in the 171. He's found something here just shy of halfway. Hopefully he's not using up his stuff too early. As we see the lap 50 mark go up on the board. And Justin Coleman really starting to put the pressure on now. Only a car length separating them. Hudson Geiger closing that gap. Only about 0.6 of a second to the back bumper of John Lyday. So he's caught this front group. We'll see if he's got anything for them when he gets to them. But he's definitely picked up the pace here and has started to track down your top four. As they come back around this time, lap number 55 gonna go up. There is your top 5. Here comes Jake Griffin in the 3rd spot. The field starting to get spread out. You gotta wonder when lap traffic's gonna come into play for your race leader, Brandon Elvis. You can hear those cars go down into turns 3 and 4 right there. Lap traffic not too far behind. This will be a good view down into 1 and 2. About a straightaway the distance for the lap cars to Brandon Elvis. And oh, there's smoke in 3 and 4. The 34 machine of Jared Sheld was slow on the bottom side. He'll hang on to it, though. He'll have Brandon Elvis, your race leader, back behind him. He will give Elvis that inside lane. It's tough to navigate traffic here at South Boston sometimes because the closing speed can be so much more than you're going to expect, and you can get right up on top of somebody before you would ever think about it. So good thing Jared gave them plenty of room, got up out of the way. A lot of respect here in the Trackmaster Sim Series. As we come back around this time, the cross flags up in the air, halfway in, halfway home. For Brandon Elvis, 60 laps to go. We've had one caution flag so far. That was back on lap number 7. So we've had a long green flag run here. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody in this top 5 is able to extend the life of the tires better than anyone else. Right now, Elvis has held the lead from the get-go, but he's got Justin Coleman all over the back bumper right there. Is there anything that he can do? Lyday still sits 3rd, Adam Fulford 4th, Hudson Geiger in the 5th spot. He's closing into the back bumper of Adam Fulford. Bubby Griffin still sitting in the 6th spot. Zach Murphy 7th. Caleb Thompson runs 8th right now. Richard Parks in the 9th position. Kyle Adams rounds out your top 10. Brandon Kelly and Sean McNeil starting to battle for the 11th spot right here. Christian Peterson's back behind them. And man, Peterson and Atkinson really have not been able to go anywhere on this green flag run. There must be a lot of damage on those machines, unfortunately, after that lap 2 chaos. Kyle Adams in the 24 machine way up the racetrack. And you can definitely tell that the handling on some of these race cars is starting to go away as lap number 70 goes up on the board. Coleman putting the pressure on. Elvis has got a mirror full of that yellow number 14. He's got lap traffic up in front of him, but it's not very dense. There's only a car here and there, so he's catching a break as far as that goes. There is a couple more cars up in front of them, so keep an eye on this battle for the lead. John Lyday sitting there waiting for one of the two to make a mistake. Adam Fulford in the 171 is kind of fallen off a little bit. There's a gap built up between him and John Lyday. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Getting around Dustin Turnage in the number 1 machine. Loose on the top side. And after all of these green flag laps, the handling definitely starting to go away on some of these race cars. You're starting to see the rear end step out on the exit of the corners. As Landon Farmer and Christian Peterson go around Sean McNeil there for the 13th spot. Yeah, like I was saying, definitely starting to see some of the handling issues coming out in these cars. Your top three right here all look pretty planted. But as we look further back through the field, everybody's sliding around just a little bit, so. Who has more life left in their tires here with 40 laps to go? That's going to be who wins this one. Coleman in the 14, a little bit tight off the corner that time. He's starting to realize that he might be running out of time if he wants to get out and around his teammate, Brandon Elvis. Hudson Geiger up to the back bumper of Adam Fulford. That's for the 4th spot if he can get around. .36 right there on the back bumper. It's so tough to pass here at South Boston, though. Everybody just rolls the momentum. As here comes the 36 with a dive to the bottom. Fulford going to try and hold him tight. Knew a little bit of contact there down into 1 and 2. Geiger trying to use up as much space as he can. As I fight for the 4th spot. The 36 peeks ahead. Looks like Fulford going to try to cross him back over. Fulford going to move back to the bottom. And he'll take that spot back. Geiger now with a crossover of his own. We are slicing and dicing here. Ooh, Geiger up the racetrack down into 1 and 2 that time. And Fulford not happy with that move, and around goes Hudson Geiger. Big time contact there. Jared Schell had nowhere to go. And that's going to put us under caution for the 2nd time here tonight. You saw it right there live on screen. Fulford was not happy with the move. Put on him down into 1 and 2 and got payback down into turns 3 and 4. Let's look at that one more time. You can see the bumper, or sorry, the door right there. And then back down into 3. 71 just drives down into the left rear. And around goes Hudson Geiger. That puts us under caution for just the 2nd time here tonight. So this is a good chance to re-rack and restack this field. See what everybody's got after a long green flag run on these tires. Remember, nobody can come down pit road and make... I mean, I guess they can make adjustments, but they are limited and they can't put tires on, which is the big thing right now, so... 30 laps to go when they come back around this time. A short distance here at the South Boston Speedway. And it's going to be a shootout to see who can pick up the video. Pick up the win, I should say. Tried to say victory. Don't know how video came out. But under caution for just the 2nd time. Very different than what we saw last week in the Twin 50s. We had a lot of early caution flags and never really got to see the field get strung out. We saw the opposite there. As Brandon Elvis will choose the inside lane. Justin Coleman on the top. We're going to come back to 27 laps to go. Pace car going to pull down onto pit road. Elvis and Coleman through the restart zone. We are back underway here at South Boston. Down into 1 and 2. Elvis going to be clear for the race lead. He'll have Justin Coleman back behind him. John Lyday fighting with Jake Griffin for the 4th spot. It looks like they will be all clear for your top 5 positions. Move Zach Murphy up into the top 5 back behind him. As Richard Parks and Caleb Thompson battle door-to-door for the 6th spot. Looks like Thompson gonna take that spot on the outside lane. Now 25 laps to go across the line that time. 25 to go for Brandon Elvis. Does Justin Coleman have anything left in the tank to pass that 54 machine? So here comes John Lyday to the inside for the 2nd spot. The 22 might have something to say about it here as Coleman a little bit loose up on the outside lane. And this is exactly what Brandon Elvis wants to see, these two battling in his rear view mirror. That allows him to try to get as big of a gap built up as he can. As Justin Coleman continues to battle on that outside lane. The top really starts to work here in these late model stocks, but you have to keep the momentum wound up. As you see, Coleman got a little bit sideways out of 4 that time. That allows John Lyday to take over that 2nd spot, and he'll set his sights on Brandon Elvis with 20 laps to go as we get back across the line. Jake Griffin trying to take over the 3rd spot from Justin Coleman. Coleman there on the outside lane trying to hold the 3 machine tight. He's just got so much more grip on the bottom right there. And move Griffin up to the 2nd spot. And Coleman in the 14 machine way up the racetrack. He loses several spots there. It looks like he's pulling that machine down to the bottom. I think Coleman may be calling it a night. Tough break for the 14. And no trouble back behind. Caleb Thompson around in turn number 3. Not sure what happened, but that's going to bring out the caution for the 3rd time here tonight. So we'll watch Thompson and Kyle Adams were battling for the 6th spot. I think maybe Thompson just came up and he wasn't quite clear there. Didn't see for sure, but let's look one more time from our drone camera here. This is coming out of turns 1 and 2. Looked like, yeah, I just don't think the 04 quite expected Adams to get the run that he did. And that puts us under caution for the 3rd time here tonight. John Lyday is going to get one more chance to roll off next to Brandon Elvis. We'll see if he's got anything left in the tank. Right now we're rolling around at 13 laps to go. He'll be just shy of 10 to go when we send him back green. As the field doubles up. This time by the lights drop on the iRacing.com pace car. We'll send him back green flag racing with 11 laps to go. So 11 to go for Brandon Elvis. He's led from the drop of the green. We'll see if he can hang on and win in back-to-back weeks here in the Trackmaster Sim Series. Elvis, Lyday, Griffin, and Murphy, your top 4 through the restart zone. Into the loud pedal, we're back underway. Through the first set of corners, Elvis going to take the early lead. Here comes Jake Griffin into the second spot. Lyday going to try to put the crossover move on, and Zach Murphy goes around on the exit of turn number 4, and the caution flag flies. You saw the 29 machine on the way outside lane go sideways. And that's going to bring out the yellow. Let's watch down into turns 3 and 4. I think Landon Farmer in the 26 machine may have gotten them right there. Let's look at it one more time. You see him on the outside right there. There may have been contact with the 24 and the 26, which pushed him up into Murphy. I don't really know. Let's get another look from up above if we can. I don't know. I don't think the contact happened before. I think it just kind of happened right as the 26 got into the left rear of Zach Murphy. But under caution for a 4th time now, and you guys know what the saying is, cautions breed cautions. And that is exactly what we are seeing here tonight at the South Boston Speedway. We had a long green flag run, and now we've had 3 caution flags back to back. As we get the 1 to go signal here, it'll be a 5-lap shootout for Brandon Elvis. We'll see if he can hang on and go back-to-back in the Trackmaster Sim Series. As they work their way into turns 3 and 4, Richard Parks now going to be moved up to the 4th spot. Into the restart zone. We are back underway down into turns 1 and 2. A good start there from Jake Griffin in the 3 machine. Does he have anything on the outside lane? As it looks like he will fall back into line. Trying to find something on the bottom. 4 laps to go here. 4 to go for Brandon Elvis. Richard Parks there trying to break his way into the 3rd spot. Lyday and Parks tangle for the 3rd spot back behind, but Brandon Elvis in the 54 just set the fastest lap of the race. Coming back to 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 to go for Brandon Elvis. Went from 3rd to 1st in the heat, and the caution flag flies. We're not done yet. Jared Shell sitting the wrong way in turn number 3. As we'll see what happened. You see Caleb Thompson sideways there in the 04. I think, oh wow, the 34 machine just did not have anywhere to go and did not lift after he got into the back bumper of the 97. And that sets us up for a green-white checkered finish, and I know that's not what Brandon Elvis wanted to see whatsoever. He's been good on the restarts, but whenever there's a green-white checkered, everybody always gets a little bit more antsy. It always opens up a door for something crazy to happen down into turns 1 and 2. Hopefully, everything goes well and Elvis can hang on, because he likely deserves this victory. He was just about to get the 2 to go signal when they threw the caution flag. So the white flag flies here. We will send them back to a green-white checkered finish. 2 laps to go in race number 3 of the Trackmaster Sim Series season. As they roll down into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis and Jake Griffin through the restart zone. And we're back underway here. 2 laps to go at South Boston. Good jump there from both of your top 2 cars. Jake Griffin going to try and find something on the top. He'll cross over to the bottom. Through turns 3 and 4. Final time around. 1 lap to go. Elvis leads down into the first set of corners. There's trouble back behind. But for the win down into turns 1 and 2. Or sorry, into 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis going to win 2 in a row as they wreck back behind coming across the line. Calamity in turns 3 and 4 coming to the line, but Brandon Elvis picks up the victory. Bubby Griffin second and John Lyday third in the number 22. But what an exciting finish there. They were sideways in turns 1 and 2, and then down into 3 and 4. Looked like Richard Parks got spun down into the inside barrels and shot right up across the track. There was nothing anybody could do. And chaos across the line. But Brandon Elvis picks up 2 in a row. We're going to go ahead and grab a word from our top 3 finishers quickly here and wrap things up on the WD Broadcasting Network. See if we can't get Jake Griffin. All right, we'll grab John Lyday first. John Lyday up in the broadcast booth. 3rd place finish here tonight. How do you feel?
I feel good. Just the one night I'm not excited about the invert, you know. So just had to put myself in a good spot, and you know, we'll take another podium, WD.
Yeah, it's always good to be on the podium, always good to be consistent, and I think it'll be really good for you as far as points go, because you're tied for 2nd right now, and the 2 guys, well, I guess Kyle's right behind you, but Brandon Atkinson, the points leader, did not have the best of runs tonight, so I think you may take the points lead after tonight's race. We've only got 3 more races left. We just passed the halfway point. Do you think you can keep this consistency up and maybe have a shot at the title?
Yeah, I definitely think we do. Just got to put our, just put ourselves in the right place. On top of that, just, having great teammates to work with to help try different things to try and get these cars to go as fast as they can, as long as they can. Obviously tonight, with having them getting mired in the back early and having that long run, I got stuck behind 3 ECR cars, and when you have to pass teammates, of the guy that's in the lead, your stuff is not going to be as good at the end. Really lucky to get the outside there on the green white checker, as the car was just not turning on the center anymore for me. So, but yeah, just got to go to work and make it happen.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more turn needed there through the center, and just I think maybe a little bit of drive off, but I think everybody would need more drive off to be able to get around that 54 car here tonight. He was definitely on a rail out front. But still a good run for the 22 machine. Like you said, another podium finish here. Who do you have to thank, John, for a third place run in week number 3?
Well, as always, just like to thank my teammates. Thank everybody involved. So that'd be Brandon Atkinson, Christian Peterson. Also like to thank Hudson Geiger as well. Jake Griffin. We had a couple more guys from the Wayback Machine come and hang out this week and run. So that was a lot of fun. 30 Below and many others. Like to thank my other guys that help run this league and help us all putting it on and running it. Like to thank you. And yeah, we're just going to try again next week, man.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, John, on your third place run here tonight, and then hopefully we can talk to you next week, and maybe a couple spots better.
Sounds good, man. We'll be here.
Alrighty. That was your third place finisher here tonight. Let's talk to our second place finisher. We'll get him up in the broadcast booth. Jake Griffin, up in the booth. You get a copy.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Alrighty, well, second place finish here tonight. Started in the third spot. Kind of got shuffled back outside of the top 5 there in that long green flag run, but as things unfolded there in the late stages of the race, you ended up working your way up into the second spot. How do you feel after 120 laps?
Yeah, I feel good. It was an awesome setup. I think I turned 1 million laps in the last 3 days on it. A lot of saving tires at the start. I think I saved for like 85 laps, and I was about to start going when the caution came out, so it kind of worked out great for us. I didn't really have anything for Brandon. I think we've had enough run-ins in the past where I was not going to hit him on this one for the win, and that was the only way I was going to be able to get him. So, yeah, congrats to him. Awesome run for John, too, and thanks to everybody at Skyline.
Yeah, it was definitely a good run for you to get back up into the second spot. Tire saving was definitely the key to tonight's race. You had to make the car last the whole race. We saw a couple guys fade there towards the end, so it was good for the number 3 machine to stay up there when it mattered the most. We've got 3 more races left this season. What do you think your chances are of finding victory lane?
I think they're better after tonight. The first couple weeks I kind of just showed up and ran the Skyline set, and I think we ran decent week 1, but man, I just could not get out of it last week. So hopefully next week will be even better.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Jake, on your second place run here tonight, and hopefully we can talk to you more throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. And thank you for putting this one on.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, and now to talk to our winner here tonight, 2 weeks in a row. Winner here in the Trackmaster Sim Series, Brandon Elvis, up in the booth. You get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, well, like I said, 2 weeks in a row for the 54 machine. I think this one you might be a little bit more proud of than last week's race. What do you think?
Yeah, man, last week we kind of had to back into one. Knew we had a good piece to build off of, though, man, and everything's kind of fell in the right way here tonight with the redraw and everything. It just worked out perfect.
Yeah, it started in the heat race, went from 3rd to 1st, which puts you in the position to get that invert, and ultimately that was the winning move here tonight. You had the track position early, and it was easier to keep those guys behind you than it was to have to pass them late, right?
Oh, yeah, man, and just being able to set the pace, I kind of was able to just run my own race and drive exactly like I wanted to drive there, and it just, played into my favor completely. I know them boys look like they might have been driving a little bit harder to me to kind of run the same pace, so anytime you see that, it's always a good sign. But those late race cautions, man, you never know what's going to happen. I know that Griffin there, Jake Griffin, I've had a few run-ins with him. I think him and I are all good, and he raced me clean there at the end. I'm really grateful for that. Just glad we could do it the right way this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always good to win in a field like this and to do it in a way where you really had to earn it, had to be there and be fast and fend those guys off. And it's funny that you say that about you and Jake having a run-in, because he had previously just said we had run-in, or you two had run-ins, and he didn't want to hit you for the win. So that's funny. It's full circle. But glad that you got the victory here tonight, and that those cautions didn't prevent it at the end. But before I let you go, Brandon, who do you have to thank?
I just shout out to my wife for letting me do this 4th night in a row. I was probably about ready to kill me. My mom and dad for watching. My biggest fans. You know, they watch every race. And shout out to my team at ECR. All these guys are fast. And you know, we got the Coastal Performance guys in here as well that showed good speed all night, which is awesome to have all those guys up front. Yeah, shout out to ECR, Coastal Performance, Variables Performance and Fab, Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Coleman Design, BK Design, WD Broadcasting Network. Always a great supporter of the community, and grateful for that. And thanks to CP, Lade, Atkinson, all those guys, Dan, that put this league on, man.
Yeah, it's definitely been a fun league. We are halfway through this season. Second win here in 2 weeks. Let's see, where were we at in points coming into it? Into the 5th spot. You're going to boost up a little bit. Do you think you have anything for a title, or is it maybe a little bit too late to, what am I saying? Too little, too late. There we go.
Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Maybe we do. I think there's a drop week in here, so maybe that'll play in our favor. Like I said, last week we got a win, but the points was like a 10, you know, so it put me about 8th or 9th overall. But yeah, I mean, I think we just go right here to win races, get trophies, you know. That's the goal from here on out.
Alrighty, well, hopefully we can see more in victory lane, but nonetheless, congratulations, Brandon, on your 2nd victory of the season here in the Trackmaster Sim Series.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, that was Brandon Elvis, your winner here tonight. Let's look at the final finishing results for tonight's Trackmaster Sim Series race at South Boston. Your winner, Brandon Elvis, just talked to him up in the booth. Second was Jake Bubby Griffin in the number 3. John Lyday comes home 3rd. Kyle Adams 4th. Landon Farmer 5th. Hudson Geiger 6th. Christian Peterson 7th. Adam Fulford 8th. Brandon Kelly 9th. Sean McNeil rounds out the top 10. Brandon Atkinson 11th. Jared Shell 12th. Dustin Turnage 13th. Caleb Thompson 14th. Zach Murphy 15th. Richard Park 16th. Justin Coleman 17th. Dominic Frappier 18th. Tanner Thomas 19th. And Dylan Hartman rounds out your field in the 20th spot here this evening. So that's going to do it for us here tonight, folks, at the South Boston Speedway. Thank you guys for tuning into the WD Broadcasting Network. If you haven't already, hit that red subscribe button for more iRacing content. Follow us on Facebook as well for all of your racing content, real life and on the sim as well. You know, we're going to have a lot of content coming out from Winchester Speedway this weekend, so that's going to be exciting. Looking forward to that. We're actually leaving in about 12 hours from now, so we'll see you guys there. Thank you guys for watching one more time. I'm your host, Winston Deal. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.